Sportsman. Yeah. You in the mix, rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the sports mix with Kenny, news and knowledge. A lot of dope techniques make kids become scholars. You need to tune in. A lot of hot topics. When it comes to sports, Kenny sound like a prophet. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. Plus he keep you up on all the hottest trends. Plus you never know who he has as a guest. So grab a cold one, man, and just tune in. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. You in the mix. Sports mix. You in the mix. Rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. You in the mix. Sports mix. You in the mix. You rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty.
Yeah. Big shout out to my man, Big Lou. The track, what's up, baby? Appreciate the mix, my brother. Yeah, Friday night. You know how we do. What's up? Got my man in the building with me.
Cheese.
My right hand.
What's up, Cheese?
What's up, Neil? What's good, man?
Chilling. What's up, Facebook? Book of Faces.
We got Leonard Cheese. The other homie.
Yeah, I thought about that too, yo. He got to be the original Cheese. That's his last name. You know what I mean?
You know, street the hard way back in the day.
Right.
Keith in the building.
What up, Keith?
Going on, everybody? So we on here, man. Friday. And my man tonight, keeping it going. Friday night, how we do. Sports mix. Big shout out to my Dundalk Owls basketball team. Got a W tonight in the first round of the playoffs. We beat Mervo from Baltimore City. That's my man Dean. That's his alma mater. One of the round table regulars. Not in the night. And also my guy, Landon Saunders. You know, we had a little small wager on the game. He's also a Mervo alum. That was some payback too from the football. I ain't heard it. He ain't stopped talking since they beat us in football. So we got y'all tonight. Saunders, I'm gonna hold on to them royalties just a little bit longer, brother. So shout out to my guys,
sports
man.
Betting going on.
Yeah, you know, we be clowning. But you know, shout out to my guys, man. They pulled it out, you know, up and down game. You know, basketball, man, it's a game of runs. They make a run, we make a run, you know, and at the end we was 1 point better. And that's all it took for us to get to the next level. What's up, Cheese? What's up, homeboy?
Fromage. You supposed to be on here with us, brother.
Fromage, what's going on? So yeah, also the next round I believe is Monday, and we're going to be playing a very tough Parkville team, the number 1 team in Baltimore County. They just won the Baltimore County Championships Tuesday, and I believe they are 23-0. 22 or 23-0, and it's going to be a tough game for sure.
Wow, they
be a tough game for sure. So, we back in the lab tomorrow. Get that W. We'll get prepared to try to get a W on Monday. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to my guys. Good game tonight. Also, my guy Lancey Cash coaches with Delaney High School, and they got a W tonight as well. So they moving on, and they will be playing Catonsville on Monday. So the good thing, well, the interesting thing about this, you know, me and Lancey go back a long time, back to the early '90s, you know, and then we became pretty cool friends, good friends over the years. And then so we had a little basketball rivalry.
Rival on the court as
You know what I'm saying?
players.
You know,
Now
we had a little
rival on the
basketball
court as
rivalry.
coaches.
So it'd be interesting if both of our teams get these W's Monday, we will meet up, for the it's not the regional championship. I forget how they label these things now, but for our bracket, it will be a championship game to see who will move on to the next round. So I'm pulling for Delaney and Dundalk on Monday. I want to get to go against my man again for a trophy or something. That'd be real good stuff. So, and then it also give me an opportunity to put another W against him. We've been whipping his ass for 30 years in basketball. So, Lancey, Keith. I'm gonna shout y'all out. Lancey, Keith, Bruce, Brian, and whoever y'all fifth was, didn't matter.
Right.
Y'all was the four.
Even though y'all deny it, we up. We up. We up like 10 games.
It didn't matter who y'all fifth was. It was going to be an L anyway. But they were some great times, man. Great times and, just great friendships over them years. And we all, had fun with it. And that's what it's all about. Making them memories, man. Who else we got checking in before we jump in? Troy Buxton. Thanks, Troy, my man. From Mars, say be back next week, next episode. And for Mars, we're gonna have to get you to bring us a Rudy Gobert update too. CB is on a sabbatical right now. I talked to him the other day, so we're gonna have to get an update from Fromage on Rudy Gobert. So
hold up, before we switch topics, while we were still on the high school, I checked out the video that you posted. I wanted to say that was a real nice piece that they did on Dundalk honoring Silas Point Senior High School, man. They put that together real nice.
Yeah, that was real nice. Baltimore County.
Got to give a round of applause to that.
Yeah, appreciate that. So that was Baltimore County Public Schools TV. I think that's the official title.
Is that an actual channel?
I think it's all internet.
Okay.
All internet based. Everything is streaming. But they had I guess it was a buzz going around the county that we were wearing those uniforms. And that they had reached out to the coach or the AD or somebody at the school and said that they wanted to do a story on why we chose to, wear those uniforms and why we chose to honor, those teams in that school or whatever. Okay. And so, they came out, I think it was like 2 weeks ago before we played Woodlawn. They came up to the school, they had did some interviews. They went around the school a little bit, I guess, taking some video. By the time I got there, they had already did all of that. And they had us set up in the room and, just asked about my experience, why that was important to me. And, like I said here before, just like, growing up there, we was 2 blocks from the school. Me and you for sure, we right there at the school. We spent a lot of time at the school, inside and outside of the building, playing basketball, football, baseball, everything kind of right there. We had family, we all had family members that went to school there and always heard great stories about Silas and the Silas experience. And, I felt it was important, that we acknowledge that, because it seemed like it's, you don't really hear much about it unless it comes from somebody that went there and, with those people, getting up in age, they kind of falling off without, being acknowledged properly. So, the goal was initially to have like a big thing where we invite, Silas graduates back and some of the players invite them to a game and kind of acknowledge them during the game. But COVID kind of got in the way of that this year. But I believe we're going to try to do something next year to have some Silas grads back and some hopefully some of the ball players that's still around. I know a few that's still around, and we'd like to have them back and acknowledge them. I'm gonna try to post a link to the video in the chat on Facebook, and I will also get it onto my YouTube moving forward. But yeah, it was real nice, man, that they was able to put that story together, and it came out real nice.
Definitely did. Like I said, the video it was definitely a well put together video.
Yeah, it came out real nice, and it's tough when you doing those type of things, and we're not really like TV people, so you know what I'm saying, it was a little tough, getting the angles because he wants us to look over here and the camera right here in front of you. He wants you to look over here in this empty space where there's nobody at, so he kind of standing there. So sometimes you kind of find yourself, we talk
trying
to people.
To jump back and look at him.
So so you talking and then you kind of turn and look at him. He's like, nah, focus over there, focus over there. So, I know I had to do mine a couple of times.
Did it? They kind of, like you said, they had everything set up and just kind of grabbed you and asked you to talk, or did you know in advance so that you had time to prepare?
No, I knew in advance.
Okay.
I knew in advance that we were going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of had an idea of what I was going to say. Hey,
Okay.
Kelly always in the building. What's
Hey,
up,
Kelly.
Kels? Yeah, so I kind of knew what I was going to say. I had an idea of what I wanted to say. I definitely wanted to make sure I acknowledge, the neighborhood and the significance of the building and the school to us growing up. Mm-hmm. So I know he put it in there a little bit. I think he cut up a little bit of what I said, but
I mean, the message came across.
Yeah, I think it came across real good. Like I said, it's documented now, so it's out there, and even some of the young men that didn't know nothing about the history got an opportunity to speak. And I thought that was pretty good too.
Let me ask you this though: when y'all first wore the jerseys, how did the teams react when y'all wore it? Did they have any questions as to why y'all switched it up?
No, I don't think. Nobody. I never heard anybody. I never heard of any questions or people asking. What's the deal with that? One of the things they did do, going into like each each game, we do the announcements. They announce the teams.
Mm-hmm.
They the starting lineups. So one of the cool things was they would give a little history.
Mm-hmm.
So they would do that kind of in the pregame.
Okay.
The Turner Station. They would give a little background on why we were wearing the uniform, what the significance of the uniform was, and whatnot. And so that was cool, man. It was good that they did that. So I just pinned the video in the comments on the Facebook page. If anybody watching want to check the video out, the link is at the bottom of the comments in the Facebook Live comments. So,
definitely, man. Another round of applause.
Thanks for bringing that up. That kind of slipped my mind the day after the game.
Bro, I had to acknowledge that one, man. Like I say, that it was a well put together video.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I just it's been a good experience. Even the fact that we acknowledge Silas Point and Turner Station throughout the month of February, and in the little the intro that was always stated, was just recognizing the history of Turner Station and Silas Point High School, during Black History Month and wearing those uniforms. So I thought that was a good thing. It's always a good look. I just wish more people could have been in the gym,
Right.
to see it and to be a part of it.
Like you say, if they could have gotten, did it up right the way they wanted to, have the people from the community there and honor
Yeah.
some of them, that would have definitely been a good look.
Yeah. So, hopefully next season we able to, put something together real nice and have people up and acknowledge them the way that I feel like they should be, because just, Silas Point is such a big part of our history and our community. I think it needs to be acknowledged a little bit more. And now at least it's being documented in a way that's going to bring attention to people that may not have even known about Silas Point High School.
Right.
Because now the building is gone. So it's not even like, you ride past it. What was that? What school was that? Like, school was gone. So, it's good that they, did that and got the, got things documented and videoed and got some, little background on it. So that was good. So yeah, I'm glad like I said, glad you brought that up. Kind of had slipped my mind a little bit. I just so focused on the game and where we're going next. So, kind of the big news of the week was this whole Juwan Howard situation.
Right, definitely that.
Did he, yeah, he probably should have used better judgment. I'm sure if he had it to do over, he probably would have went about it a different way. I'm sure, but it happened. You can't take it back. It is what it is. And I think the thing all of us was waiting for was what was going to happen.
Exactly.
What are the powers that be, in that case, I guess the Big Ten and the two universities, University of Michigan and University of Wisconsin, what actions were they going to take, with all parties involved? And I guess they came down, Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday.
That
Juwan would get the
Juwan Howard
$40,000 fine.
He got suspended for the remainder of the regular season, which is 5 games, and a $40,000 fine. And I believe
then they waited till the following day
the next morning. Yeah,
guard was going to only get a $10,000
fine and no suspension, and then the University of Wisconsin stepped up and said they're gonna pay the fine.
And bruh, you posted a thread that Monday, remember? That was my exact thing.
Yeah.
I knew that was going to happen. Yeah. That basically absolved him from any punishment. If they paying the fine, what punishment did he get? And the message is that they condone what he did. That they said it. They completely back up their coach.
Yeah.
So they were okay with everything that he did as if he did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not in no way condoning anything that Juwan did or saying that, there was a difference in the things that happened during the course of the altercation. But I wholeheartedly believe that the altercation escalated from his, putting his hands on Juwan Howard.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot force someone to listen, talk, or do anything when they don't want you to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That he clearly was trying to avoid him and walk around him.
Yeah. Best thing would have been to do was just to keep walking.
Right. But in his defense, he couldn't keep. I don't think he could have, because when the guy grabbed him, that's when all of the players came and separated him. So
no, I'm talking about the Wisconsin coach.
Oh yeah, exactly. To just when he was trying to walk around, he could have just said what he said and not touched him. You know what I mean?
But if it was something to be said, he could have said it.
Yeah,
back
exactly.
in the back, back in the locker room area,
Right.
They could have had a conversation at that point. But he grabbed him, which.
Grabbed him more than once. Put it, you know what I'm saying?
When you already heated, the last thing you want is somebody to be grabbing, especially somebody that you got an issue with.
Exactly.
Don't grab me. And again, because I know, people they listen to what you say, but they don't understand. They don't listen for understanding.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people listen to be combative.
Right. Most people listen to rebuttal.
Yeah.
They
So
don't
we're not
listen to hear
saying
your point. Right.
we're not saying that what Juwan did was the right thing. But you should just don't grab the man, and we're not even having this conversation.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If they take that thing to the back, away from the cameras, and give it a cool down period. It don't have to be right then. Let's say, the Michigan bus going to leave in 45 minutes, an hour to take him where, maybe right before he get on the bus. See if he want to talk to you. If not, maybe the next day, give him a call.
Let him go.
You know what I'm saying? But that's not the time. And I heard, I'm a Georgetown guy. Big John. Big John was my guy. And I used to listen to his radio show. This was one of the things he talked about a few years back. That cool down period after a loss, especially after you lose. That nobody want to have a microphone. Number one, have a microphone stuck in your face after you lose a game. Like, especially if it's a big game.
Right.
Like, nobody want to answer them questions.
Right. Have you explain why you lost.
Right. And then I use that same logic for, it's already, the situation was already, kind of tense. You know what I'm saying? So it's what? 10, 15 seconds left in the game. They pressing you up. You know what I'm saying? You got a comfortable lead. You call a timeout, which that's one of them unwritten rules. You don't call a timeout. You don't take extra shots when you don't need to, in a game that you got comfortable. So Juwan took offense to it, whether he was right or wrong in that instance as well. It is what it is. You're losing the game. You could have been mad about something else, and that could have just piled onto it. So I'm not gonna make no excuse for that. I've been as a coach. I've been as a youth coach. I took an ass whooping about 50 one time. I still remember that shit, like it happened last night. You know what I'm saying? Probably the worst beating I took as a coach. And like, dude pressed our kids until I think we had like, it might have been a minute and something left. And they pulled off. They had pulled off before that. But my kids were so shell shocked, man. I got the ball over half court. I just stay right there. And we just held the ball. You know what I'm saying? For it may be about a minute. I just said, fuck it, hold the ball. Just wait right there. This shit is already bad. It's fucking. So we, walked away that, with a 50-point L. And then, I could have probably let them play it out, but I just said, yo, fuck it, we can just stop the bleeding right here and do what it is. And I always remember that, not the fact that we lost, but I always kept in the back of my mind, if I ever see this coach again, and my team is, have that ability to put some pressure on his ass, I'm coming after him. I always kept that one in my back pocket, but I never got the opportunity to see him again.
Did y'all have a conversation about it after the game?
Nah, I wasn't nothing to talk about. I just shook hands and bounced.
Okay.
But I just say I put it in my back pocket though. I was like, yo, if we ever see these dudes again, I'm coming. I'm not going. Ain't no mercy rule, and that shit happens. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I like. That's one of the things I learned. You gotta be able to take that shit as well as you give it out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it, you can't take it personal. When it get personal, that's when shit like this happens.
Right. And my motto when it comes to playing, like, I don't believe in a stall game. Now, the difference is I'm not going to, if I was up, like you say, 20 points, I'm not going to have my starters in the game. You know what I mean? But we running the same offense. We not holding the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We might not be pressing. I mean, I'm not going to full court press you. But we running our offense. That's just the way I believe in. I don't believe in stalling the ball out. But I mean, to each his own.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you know, you like I don't want certain people. I'm not certain. Just out of experience and years in coaching. So certain people, I'm not gonna take the foot off the gas. Just because I know they would do the same thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
There's some coaches that I got respect for, just because they carried it that way with me. And if it gets too bad, I'll pull out a little bit. I'll slow it down just a little bit out of respect. But I can't. I'm not gonna make them stop playing.
Right.
Because at that point in the game, you usually got your bench players in the game that don't play much.
Right.
So I wouldn't just totally make them stop playing, but
that's what I'm saying. I would use that opportunity to get them involved, to let them see, to run the offense in a game situation. That's what I would do. You know what I mean? I just don't believe in the stall game, because having played in the few times that I coached, like it's just too much of a momentum change for me. I just prefer to keep running the offense, keep running what's working. Like I say, I'm not pressing you full court, but we running the offense, and whatever D we in, that's what we in.
Yeah.
It's no holding the ball, waiting to the shot clock. If we get a shot early in the clock, we taking it. If we get a, you know what I mean? That's just me. But Troy Buxton, he had a question. He said, because of the encounter, should the handshake line be taken out? I mean, personally, I feel like with COVID, it should have been gone anyway. You know what I mean, for this season.
Well, we didn't have Baltimore County games. We didn't have. There was no shaking hands.
Mm-hmm.
This is when we played outside of the county. Every different counties had different rules.
Right.
So like when we played in Howard County a couple weeks ago, they didn't have a rule but we shook hands. We lined up and shook hands.
Mm-hmm.
But then tonight, after we played Mervo, we lined up and shook hands.
Okay.
But I ain't in college, because the NBA don't shake hands.
Right.
And I don't see no problem with that.
They do their individual. If you want to go speak to somebody or whatever, you do and keep it moving.
I think college should be the same way, especially big time college.
Mm-hmm.
What's really the good game? Good game.
Well, and the thing about it is crazy, because if the handshake is technically about sportsmanship, you know what I mean? So how do you then have a handshake after unsportsmanlike conduct in a game? It's kind of contradictory, in my opinion.
Yeah, shake hands before the game.
Right.
Say hello to people before the game. After the game, like I just don't think it's necessary. Some, like you say, if you got a person, like if you got a good friend on the other side, and you want to talk to you want to speak to your friend or whatever, that's one thing. But I don't think it's necessary to have the handshake after the game, especially like after what I just said. Like like you said too, a contested game, a real competitive game. Nobody want to have sportsmanship after that,
Right.
Especially if you're a competitor and you lose.
Mm-hmm.
You really trying to shake nobody's hand, man. You trying to get up out of there,
Right.
But I agree. I agree with Troy. Or if he was making a statement or a question, but I agree. I don't think it's really necessary to have the handshake in college football. College basketball. I'm not sure if college football do it. And that's a lot of people. I don't think college football do it, because college football they might have
I believe the coaches shake hands.
The coaches
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, the coaches will meet at the middle. Yeah, but that's like high school, really youth sports. The shaking of the hands at the end. But I don't think it's necessary for college basketball no more. But they'll probably continue to do it. won't stop it just because of this one incident. But I've seen where a lot of people have spoken up about that this week.
Right.
You know, the handshake is unnecessary at this point. You know, even Big Patrick Ewing, I know he was one that said it was unnecessary, and a few other people I've seen like maybe had tweeted or made a comment this week that the shaking of the hands at the game wasn't necessary. But getting back to the punishment,
Right.
Getting back to the punishment, 40,000 and 5 games for Juwan, 10,000, no games suspension, and the university gonna pick the tab up for Wisconsin.
Right. So effectively, guard got no punishment.
Right.
And
then it brings up these questions, and it always comes to, what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? What it looks like. And from our perspective, I'm not speaking for you, but from my perspective, it just always looked like punishment is for certain individuals.
Oh, I'm in agreement.
You know what I'm saying?
In agreement. And again, let me state that I'm good with Juwan's punishment.
Yeah.
I agree that it was a fair punishment.
Yeah.
I'm not in agreement with guard's punishment. That's where the issue lies.
The example must be set. The biggest thing he did, the biggest problem he did was he put his hands on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the video, first, because the first day, that Sunday, it was the worst thing in history. He threw a punch at this guy, and then once you're able to look at the video,
right,
you see clearly he wasn't trying to punch him.
Right.
It looked like he was trying to grab him, which he probably shouldn't have been trying to do either. But what's being missed is the guy that he ended up putting his hands on looked like he was trying to get to him.
That's exactly what I've been saying all week. And I believe the reason he even reacted like that was because he pushed one of his players out of the way. Like he was pushing through his players to get to Juwan Howard. Yeah. So what I mean? And that, nobody says that. People, like I've seen comments where, Juwan is 6'10". You know what I mean? What was he defending himself from? I mean, just because you're 6'10" don't mean you can't suffer injury from somebody lesser stature than you.
But it gets to the point when we start talking about he's 6'10",
right?
Or that's he's 300 pounds.
Just say that's the big black man mentality.
But it's almost like we're not talking about a human being,
right? You talking about the big black man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? The big black, not a human being.
We viewed as animals.
And there's some, when does that shit stop?
Right.
When do we stop excusing that kind of rhetoric and nonsense communication?
Mm-hmm.
Because like I posted Sunday, where, now all of the I forgot the words I used, but the holier than thous. And you corrected me with
holier than thous.
But the holier than thou crowd was gonna come out and they're gonna talk about how bad Juwan Howard was.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a bad person, and he should be fired. I mean, everything was elevated and escalated. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. There's no room in sports for this. He's got to go. He should be fired. You hear all of that. And then, it starts, once the punishment is given out, there's people still saying he should be fired.
Right.
There's people bringing up the incident he had with Mark Turgeon last year, I think it was. Where they didn't touch each other, but they got in each other's faces.
Right.
But we absolved Mark Turgeon.
Exactly. Because like you said, they got in each other's face.
Yeah.
Mark Turgeon, didn't back down.
Wasn't like he was backing up, like
right.
Yeah, he was engaged as well.
Right.
So they bring that up to say, well, this is his second incident.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes I'll be wondering, right? Some of these people couldn't have been competitive enough.
Right.
Because when you are competing, man, sometimes all sense of reality kind of goes out to the wolves,
Right. You got the adrenaline pumping.
and you in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You in the moment, man. You're not thinking about the repercussions of what's gonna happen next week or what's gonna happen tomorrow once I cool down. You're in the moment. So yeah,
Right.
you gotta be able to have some control. I get that. But yo, when we just go right to, oh my God, that was the worst. It was stop, man, with all of this. Uh, it's just the worst. It's almost like a tragedy. People.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, come on, man, stop with the nonsense, man. This is heat of the moment. His emotions got the best of him. He was a little upset about how the game ended. He probably was more upset that they lost the game. He might be more upset that his team lost in the way they lost.
Right.
And then whatever happened on top of that set him off. You know what I'm saying? But we just it's almost like you got a action. The reaction is 30 times worse than the action.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cool down period, then the punishment come, and then this guy again is looked like he started and was the perpetrator of the
Right.
whole incident.
Right.
You know, I think it's unfortunate. Because if you can yell fire, what's the old saying? You yell fire in a crowded building, and there's no repercussions for that. The fire trucks come,
Right.
and they could have been somewhere else putting out a real fire.
Mm-hmm.
Here they are over here, and there's nothing really going on. At what point do we start to look at the people starting the fire?
Right. Like I had posted, like my grandmother, I mean, my grandfather used to say, you can't start a fire and then get mad if you get burned. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? That's what he
Mm-hmm.
did. He started the fire, and you know what I mean, it burned out of control. And so now he's the victim of being burned because he put his hands on him.
Yeah. And then
And the like you said, the you can't excuse the, you know what I mean, you punishing the reaction and
mm-hmm.
excusing the action.
Yep. Yep. So now, Juwan is out for the remainder of the regular season. So there's a Big Ten got a tournament. So it's a possibility they may see each other again. And when they see each other again, there's gonna be a lot of extra media.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna try to maybe try to goad them into to something,
Right.
or he's gonna get asked a lot of dumbass questions that may set him off.
Mm-hmm.
you know. So it's going to be interesting coming up, and we a week away, 2 weeks away really from March Madness, great start. You got some of the smaller conference tournaments, great start probably next weekend. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially the next time they face each other. The next time Michigan and Wisconsin bump heads, because it's going to be some media. It's going to be more coverage of it than it would be normally, just because
Probably
of this
more
incident.
security as well.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So for the record, Juwan got what he got. It's no big deal about that. The big issue is what did not happen with the Wisconsin coach.
Right.
I think that's the biggest crime in this whole thing, man. That he did not just the head coach, the other coach as well. I'm not
Exactly.
showing his name, but neither one of the coaches, in my opinion, got what they should have got as far as punishment. And the fact that the university stepped up and said that they're going to pay the fine, it's almost like a slap in the face.
Mm-hmm.
We got you back. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We got you. We got you. Any other thoughts on that?
I just I read where his former teammate Jimmy King,
Ray
said
Jackson.
that was it
Ray
Ray
Jackson.
Jackson
Yeah,
that
Ray
said
Jackson.
that a black man in that state of mind is America's worst nightmare.
Yep.
Again, the big angry black man. And
Dang.
I commented on that. My comment was to a black man or to Black America, a white man harassing or illegally detaining you is
Mm-hmm.
our worst nightmare
Yeah.
because you know that's all we see. Like we're stopped, we're detained for just being us.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that some of that is how he felt. Like it was anger,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sure in the back of his mind, like, who are you to touch me?
Right.
Leave me alone. Don't touch
Right.
me. And he said it 2 times, 3 times. Don't touch me. No means no.
Yeah.
Ain't
That's what
that?
they
That's
tell
what
us.
they say.
That's what they
No
keep telling
means
us.
no. Right.
That's what they keep
So
telling us.
I don't see how God is just absolved of all,
Yeah.
all responsibility in the incident.
Yeah. That's just some nonsense,
Right.
in my humble opinion. But we move on. Shit. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Exactly.
You know, like my cousin Sheila just tuned in. Hey cousin, how you
Hey,
doing?
Sheila.
Yeah, so man, I ain't have a whole lot tonight. Man, we just talk some basketball, man. We played on the team together, high school.
Right.
we done traveled many courts around the city
Right.
and counties hooping. So we grew up playing the game a certain way. Um, and I'm gonna set up get some couple young guys. I got a couple of my younger co-workers. One of my old co-workers, young guy, he probably like 30, 32. Um, he said he would come on. I'm gonna set up the old school, new school debate. Versus like how we played the game versus how they play the game now. You know, that motherfucker don't like to pass the ball, so he running and gunning.
Mm.
But like give me your thoughts, like how you view the game today versus how we grew up playing.
I mean, me personally, man, like it's all like you say. The great debate is who could have played in that era and who from that era could have played in this era. And honestly, I believe everybody from that era could play today because, like, I'm looking at the rules, man. You can't hand check. You know what I mean? Back then it was only man to man. There was no zone. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so you had to, like I said, I commented on how I played defense.
Yeah.
Most of the time when we played in high school, I usually played the D on whoever the leading scorer was.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought was, I'm not gonna let you get the ball and then give you the chance, then have to figure out, what move you might do. No, I'm
Yeah.
gonna deny you the ball. I'm gonna do everything to keep the ball out of your hands
Mm-hmm.
so that you don't get a chance to score. And
Yeah.
I don't see that in today's game. That's what I don't see. I don't see the defensive effort. And granted, the rules play a part of that where you can't hand check and you whatever, but you can still face guard a person, man. You can, you can run through screens. You can deny ball. Like
Yeah.
that was the first thing I was taught. You know what I mean? Man, you ball,
Yeah.
deny.
Yeah.
I don't see that. So yeah, these guys are doing things athletically that is just incredible. They're jumping out of the gym. Like, that's the one thing I think eventually they're going to have to raise the rim to 11 feet because these guys are just, it's incredible, you know what I mean? But in the same token, the 3-point line is king. So you got guys that's can touch the top of the backboard, but the game is played from the 3-point line in. It's kind of contradictory.
Yeah.
But, I enjoy the game still because, I'm a shooter's guy. I've always been a shooter's guy. So I like seeing guys that can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not necessarily, although Curry and KD are my favorite players, I don't get caught up on the 3-point. Like right now, man, I'm feeling DeRozan.
Yeah,
he's cooking with hot right grease. And he's 10 and in. Everything is a 10, 12-foot turnaround jump shot, a pump fake pull-up, one dribble pull-up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's what I like.
Yeah, but the thing, everything is copycat.
Right.
So if more DeMar DeRozan start cooking like he cooking, then you're gonna see more younger players start to go with the mid-range game.
Right.
Right now, everybody want to shoot the ball like Steph and Clay and KD and all these guys. My problem with that, especially working with younger kids, they walk right in the gym shooting threes.
Stop at the 3 line, right.
Like, we ain't took a layup, we ain't hit a free throw, but we right there. And then not even at the 3-point line, we even like 10 feet behind that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We trying to prove that we got this kind of range. And I'd be like, my logic, and I remember telling, I ain't gonna say his name, I ain't gonna call him out, but one of my kids that I used to coach, and this was in youth basketball. And I said, you take threes every time. Every time you get a halfway look, you gonna shoot it. When you got nothing in front of you. You actually could go put the ball on the floor, get a couple dribbles, and then pull up for an easier shot. But my question to him was, out of all them threes you took, let's just say you took 6, how many of them did you make? And he might say 1. I said, don't that tell you something? 1 out of 6 is not a good percentage. You know what I'm saying? That is not a good percentage, young fella. Get a little closer to the basket.
Right.
Let's master them shots first. And then a lot of times too, they don't even realize they're not even strong enough to shoot from way out because it's not even a good shot. They kind of throwing this shit up there.
Right.
My thing is, man, just play the game the right way. Be smart. Take good shots. But and you remember, like I told somebody yesterday, the 3-point line came into play my junior year in high school.
Mm-hmm.
My sophomore year, there was no 3-point line.
Right.
So the dude looked, and he wanted the coach. He looked at me like, damn, Coach Kenny, you telling your age. I said, but this is what it is.
Right.
We was there from the beginning. We got the beginning. And of course, all of us wanted to step behind that fucking line and shoot it because it was there.
Right.
But when the game started, I knew my role. I knew I wasn't the one going to be out there shooting threes. So in the game, I wouldn't go out there. I played my role.
Right.
Now everybody feel like, but coach, I can make that shot. You really can't.
Right.
You really can't. And then, like I say, I'm not a numbers guy, but I'm a numbers guy. Like, like I just said, if you taking 6 threes and you making 1 of them, you're not a good 3-point shooter.
Right.
But period. Period. So, these kids, man, the way they play now, like I felt like even we could get up and down the court.
Right.
We could force tempo, like we could get up and down the court, but like you said earlier, we played inside out.
Mm-hmm. We
didn't like on a fast break, nobody was stopping at the fucking 3-point line.
Exactly.
With nothing in front of them.
That was unheard of.
You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, that might get you hurt.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? So you just see so much nonsense now, like, or at the end of a game, with the game on the line, the best play is to drive to the basket.
Mm-hmm.
To make the referee put the ball in the referee hand. Be aggressive going to the basket. Make him blow the whistle. But when you're not being aggressive, you pulling up, anywhere other than in the lane.
Mm-hmm.
At that point in the game is not a good shot, in my opinion. And that's just me,
Right.
But the way they play now, the logic now is, it's a good look.
Right.
It's a clean look, but
And a good look is a good look. An open shot is an open shot. If
yeah,
you have the capability to make that shot. If you're not a 3-point shooter, an open three is not a good look for you. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Like you said, if they leaving you that open that you got 3 dribbles, then they know you're not a good 3-point shooter. Take those three dribbles
exactly.
and take a better shot.
And it's, like feeding the post is a lost art in today's game because you don't have a lot of people that post up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have a lot of people that will go down there on that block and demand the ball, down on the block. It's tough. It's tough. Because I don't want to be like the old guy in the room, and it got to be this way, but it got to make sense. The game got to make sense, and when you got a big guy, you gotta take advantage of that. I don't care how great you can shoot it. You gotta because nobody want to just run up and down the court, just get just to be the rebounder or the
Right.
The screener. Nobody want to do that.
Especially if you got a big guy that can score inside. Like I hear you talking about your big guy that, the last couple of games he's been 20 plus points. Obviously, he can do work in there. I don't see why you wouldn't give him the ball. Like I always believed like you go with what's working. Yeah. Like I mean, I like to shoot. I ain't gonna front. I like to shoot. But if I wasn't the one that was hot, or even if I was hot, like you said, because I played the forward, so most of the time I was on the wing.
Mm-hmm.
But if, like you said, you or whoever was in the middle and you were open, I was always 10 times out of 10 gonna kick it in first.
Yeah.
If you kicked it out, then that's a different story. But it was going in first.
And I would pass it out.
Definitely would.
I would pass it out.
Definitely would.
You know what I'm saying? And
I got a lot of good looks from getting it kicked out. Like you say, I'd pass it in and then I'd move to an open spot.
Yeah.
If it come back, I'm letting it fly. That's a definite.
Yeah. And shout out to Leonard Cheese. I remember Schultz yelling at Leonard in practice for always throwing me the ball. God damn it, Leonard. You can't throw it to him every time. I said, shit, why not?
Right. If you can get it and you open, why not? Exactly.
Why not? Give it to me every time. But he thought it was the homeboy thing.
Right.
But we play together. We play together a lot. So, it's just that familiarity. We know each other. You know what I'm saying? We know kind of, all right, that's Kenny's spot. Let me get it to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or even if I get it, like me and Marcus McMorris, like we had the thing with the high-low.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the pass would come to me. It might have been you on the wing, passed to me at the foul line. And Marcus always knew if he cut, I'm going to hit him.
Right.
Without even thinking about it. He was coming because he bam, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we had that working for a minute. You know what I'm saying? It's just that once that familiarity and understanding each other too, I think that play a role with the game as well. And to me, I don't think kids today play enough. Just go to the court and hoop.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is kind of structured. Like if it ain't practice, or they ain't on a team or something, like they ain't just going somewhere to hoop. Like say, we hooped. We played basketball a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot. We from like high school years, we played damn near every day. Into the night.
Back to middle school days we played.
And even beyond high school, we'd get in the car and we'd go somewhere. We was hooping. We would just go and play. And I don't see that a lot with the young kids today. I think they always on some kind of team, or they working with a trainer, or they just doing all this stuff trying to gain the advantage, but I think the advantage comes in just playing. Getting out on the court and really working on your game. Structure is good.
Right.
Structure is good, but I think some of our kids is too, because then they like robots.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They get in the court, get in the game, they like robots. They can't, like we were telling the kids in practice yesterday. My analogy was, we draw these plays up. Every player is drawing up the score. The play is drawing to get you to the basket. So my analogy was, say you want to go somewhere you've never been before. You pull up the GPS, right? And the GPS is going to take you right where you need to go. So if you go to that place 5 times, 6 times, now you don't need the GPS no more. You know how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But then what happens is you find other ways to get to the same place.
Right.
From your original destination to that place, you find different ways to get there. So when we draw up a play, and the original way you show the play is the guard goes here, the forward goes here, the center sets the screen here, that.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens in the game? The defense kind of pick up on what you're doing.
Right. They start stepping in front of the pick.
So
you know what I mean?
You got to learn how to improvise.
Right.
So my thing basically was, you got to learn how to get to the basket off of this play another kind of way.
Right.
Or you got to get open another kind of way.
Right. Or fool the defense into, thinking you're doing something different.
Yeah. So it's here. It's a mind game on both ends. The defense is trying to get you out of what you're trying to do, and then you got to get them off of what they're trying to do. It's like I played on the block, so the first couple times up and down, you feel out how the person's gonna play you. So I know if I got somebody smaller than me, I'm gonna just put them on my back. If I got somebody my size that can push with me a little bit, now I gotta think a little bit.
Right.
I ain't gonna be able to just muscle them.
Yeah,
so then I gotta figure out what I can do to get to my spot. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that way. So to me, kids, the younger kids, I'm talking about the younger kids today, I don't think they play enough.
Mm-hmm.
Where I just don't think they go out and play, just go to the court and play. Where, we're like, in our day, we was going to the court. We didn't have as much structure.
Mm-hmm.
We wasn't playing on all these teams. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have all that going on. So, not saying one way is better than the other, but I feel like sometimes they just play a little too much structure. Sometimes you just need to go play and figure the game out on your own.
Yo, that's a interesting perspective. It's funny because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine 2 days ago, and we were that very topic. Like we were discussing personally whether we like playing pickup or under the whistle, and he mentioned all of those things that you said, that he was free to flow and do whatever. I kind of was a little different. I feel like I preferred to play under the whistle, but it was for different reasons.
Yeah.
One definite reason was because I like the crowd. Like the crowd, I just love the crowd. You know what I mean? I got pumped for the crowd. But the other thing was the referees, and that was a double-edged sword because I've been in some games where the refs, I felt like they just were trash, and they weren't. You know what I mean? They called what they saw, hopefully.
Yeah.
And it kind of hurt my game. But, on that outside court, you get that dude that's just hacking or, you know what I mean? But all of that is a part of, like you said, the hard knocks that you got to go through. You learn to take punishment. You learn to take, not punishment, because you shouldn't be punishing anybody on the court, but you learn to take contact. You learn to overcome, get into the hole where it's 2 dudes waiting on you.
Yeah.
And you still gonna put it in. So, Yeah, I can agree with that. You know, what I
Yeah,
mean, just me personally, I feel like I excelled a little better under the whistle, but I see how that, just going out and playing, can grow because you encounter different levels of talent. Like you said, when we got in the car, wherever we went, the talent level was different on each
yeah,
court.
yep,
And
yep,
you either rise to the top or you fall by the wayside. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's been some times where we ran the court. There's been some times where we was one and done.
yeah,
But either
yeah,
way, you learned and you adjusted.
yeah. And I liked all that shit.
Right,
I liked all of it. I like going out there and you playing against somebody that can go.
right,
Because it's gonna make you step your shit up.
right.
It's gonna make you step your shit up. Like you said, I've had some games that I wish was on film.
Mm-hmm.
We was going out on some of them courts.
Right.
I wish some of that shit was on film somewhere.
Yeah, it was definitely
You
some
know?
good ones outdoorsy,
Oh
boy.
man, yeah, Dorsey Road. I had some classic shit out
Yeah.
there. I had some classic shit out there.
And Pumphrey.
Yeah, Pumphrey's Court, out Towson,
Yeah.
Kenilworth, back behind the library up there,
Mm-hmm.
where Doug and them used to live at. You know,
What was
I
the
mean,
other court though we used to go to in the port park? That was mostly me, you, where we used to play Lancey and them, but still, man.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I just wish, it just the game, man, just been so much a part of our life,
Mm-hmm.
and then like, just the bonds we built,
Right.
from hooping, like, yo, if I could do it all over, like I tell people, man, I'll go to battle with my guys, the same guys I went to battle with in high school.
Right.
Because I knew, we had some pieces.
Mm-hmm.
We had some pieces, man. We had some good squads. I think, coaching could have been a little better. I ain't pointing no fingers at nobody. It is what it
Right.
is. Now, I think we could have, had we played a little bit more out of the basketball season
Mm-hmm.
and some competitive stuff, where we were
Right.
sharpening them skills and really
Mm-hmm.
building that camaraderie, it could have carried us a little further because that's what everybody else was doing.
Right.
All of the better teams that we played against,
Yeah, they were playing
they
together
playing together all year
round.
under the
Exactly.
whistle.
Exactly.
Under the whistle. So they made a difference. But I mean, it is what it is. But
Mm-hmm.
like Leonard, I seen Leonard had mentioned Brucey B.
Mm-hmm.
Think about our backcourt my senior
Right.
year. Spike, Bruce.
Bruce.
I mean, you was a guard pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Y'all three was putting the heat on people, man. We was pressuring, and it was able to, man, Marcus was able to, be in the back, protecting y'all, protecting the rim. And I told the story in practice the other day. I told the story about the Randallstown game.
Okay.
How, we down at the end of the third quarter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? First game of the year, we down. Coach gave up on us. He had no words for us coming into the huddle, man. It's like, yo, that's
Right.
one of
What
the
he do? He
craziest
put his hands behind his, laid back on the bench and crossed his legs.
I mean, and especially, and now being a coach, yo, that's the craziest shit ever. I don't think I've never not said anything
Right.
to a team unless we was blowing somebody out, and I just like, yo, I ain't got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But when you losing, and we come over there for some guidance and some direction, he said nothing the whole
Right.
time out. He just kind of like, whatever.
He didn't even call the timeout. That's what's crazy. Bruce called the timeout. Remember that? Bruce called the timeout.
I thought the quarter was over.
No, remember Bruce
quarter.
called the timeout. Bruce
Yeah.
called the timeout.
I kind of missed that one.
Hey.
But he just didn't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And we went out there, huddled up, went out home.
The quarter was over. Bruce called the timeout the fourth quarter, after the first couple minutes of the fourth quarter.
Yeah. And remember when we talked about this a couple months ago, and I told you, thinking back about it, the best thing that happened in that game was he didn't take us out.
Right.
Because at that point in the game, when you down like that, a lot of times coaches just clear the bench.
Yep.
And it is what it is. But he left us out there, and we just said, fuck it, yo, let's just go hoop.
Right.
And we cut the lead, tied it, took the lead and beat them the score was 82-75. I'll never forget the score.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we beat them 82-75, but we came from down 21.
Right.
At the end of the third quarter, we down 21 points, man.
So we had to go on like a 30-something point run in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
We was down 21.
I got the box score
somewhere.
I got the box score. I can see what we did that fourth quarter. But yeah, we just knuckled up, man. I mean, y'all was strapping up. Yep. You know, you fighting Bruce, y'all was strapping up because we was pressing them.
Mm-hmm.
And we sped them up. We was getting them steals, man, and then y'all was hitting threes. Y'all, I remember Spike hit a big one.
Yeah.
I remember he hit a big one. And I think you probably hit a couple. But we were just rolling. At that point, we was like a steamroller. It wasn't
like
no
you said, it was
point.
the press that did it. When I was like, yo, I'm going, man, I don't know what y'all doing.
Yeah.
And then we was just like, well, yo, let's go full court press.
Yeah.
And from that point on, it was a wrap.
Yeah, but that was and that's like you say, it's the first game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like, I mean, it could have set the season off in a bad way. It could have went bad with that first game. It could have got bad, but
because imagine if we would have lost with him not saying anything or doing anything. Like I would have. I mean, I kind of lost respect anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if I could have played anymore for that guy after that. If we would have lost and got blown out, and he didn't say anything, I don't know how I would have continued on. And but like you say, him not taking us out, I believe in his mind he was going to teach us a lesson. That's why he didn't take us out. He was going to teach us a lesson. Let us get blown out. You know what I mean? Because I believe he felt like we weren't running his plays or you know what I mean, doing his system.
And I don't even think that was the case in that game, that we wasn't running what he wanted.
Right.
I just think they were just hot.
Right. They were hot early in the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they just came out hot on us.
Right, because it wasn't like we had a bunch of turnovers. We weren't, you know.
Right. Yeah, I just think it was one of them times, but it's you know, the game, like I coach it, it's a game of runs.
Mm-hmm.
You got to withstand the run.
Right.
And don't fold up when the run comes, because it's coming. You know, every team going to make a run at some point. You just got to withstand it and keep fighting.
But I remember, man, I kept saying, like, I honestly believed that because we was running that zone. Remember? That was when what was it? Was it 2-1-2? Something crazy. 2-1-2, I believe. Something crazy that I had never done it before.
Mm-hmm.
And they was just shooting over us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They was getting some inside shots too, but like you say, they were just hot. And that's what I kept saying. Because I remember I said after the first quarter, I was like, let's go, man. And he, no.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they came out cooking, but, you know, we shut the flame down on their ass and came back and beat them. You know, that's when I put in the pocket. You know, another one we had, you know, that Overly game. Out Overly. That was, man, I just remember the gym being real packed.
That's what I'm about to say, bro. When I talk about the crowd, that was the ultimate. I think to this day, I think that was the biggest crowd.
Yeah, the gym was packed. They was talking smack.
Packed.
And they got out on us.
Yeah. They
jumped on us out early. It wasn't quite as bad as Brownstown, but they jumped on us early. And then the defense came.
Again, same thing. We went to the press. Yep.
Y'all strapped up. And for some reason that game, they kept fouling me. I lived at the foul line. I think every one of my points came from the free throw. Because I was missing my my little turnaround wasn't hitting. But they kept fouling me. I go to free throw. I was hitting all my free throws that game. But I just remember the crowd. Like I just remember that energy in the crowd, man. It was like, that's one of the best.
Right.
That's one of the best. And then we was the visitor.
And they was loud.
Yeah, they was loud. And they was like sitting right on your neck.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that one. That's one I'm gonna always remember. And I just remember a couple years later, they act like they remember that.
They still don't. I told you I have conversations with people
we
now
that
they like, we never lose to y'all.
Yes, you did.
Okay, right.
Yes, you did. And it's in the Sun paper.
Mm-hmm.
Still, you can pull that up today.
at home.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a real good one. That one, trying to think, what else? What other games we had? The Parkville game was always good.
Mm-hmm.
I never beat them. My couple
We beat
years
them
playing.
my senior year.
Yeah, I never beat them.
We beat them twice, matter of fact, I believe.
But I always had good games against them. I always had real good games against them dudes. Parkville. Trying
Like
to
you
think.
said, man, that Randallstown game. Imagine if that would have been a Friday night game, bro.
Oh man, that'd have been. We might have had to fight to get up out of there.
Right.
Yeah, we might have called security to get us up out of that one. Shit, that was a real good one. But that's that's kind of where we at now. With these kids, man, I just want them to enjoy this shit. They got that win tonight.
Mm-hmm.
They was excited. They was excited in the locker room because we put it on them. It's like, yo, it's March Madness. It's win or go home.
Right.
If we lose Friday, we can collect the uniforms Friday night. We ain't got to come back. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of. Do y'all want to have practice Saturday or we collect the uniform? So,
mm-hmm.
After the game, coach, I told you we wasn't collecting no uniform. We practicing tomorrow. I was like, yo, that's what's up. Now we got to do it again.
Right.
Now we got to do it again. And we got a bigger challenge for us this week. It's a bigger challenge. The number one team in the area, in Baltimore County at least. I don't know where they rank in the as far as the state or citywide or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they definitely number one in Baltimore County, 22-0. Just won the county championship.
How do they do that now? Hey, I heard you say the county championship. How does that work?
Yeah, so it's the two top teams, teams with the two best records.
Okay.
And they play for the championship. So then, because everybody don't play everybody either, because they broke them up into it's two divisions. So I think that's how they do it. It's Division 1 and then Division 2. So the Division 1 champ will play the Division 2 regular season. Whoever got the best record in the two divisions play each other for the championship.
Okay.
I think that's how it goes.
So who did Parkville play for the county champions?
So they beat Randallstown.
Mm.
And we didn't play Randallstown this year, so I don't even know how they look. How they are. We played. We only lost bad twice this year. We lost bad to Parkville, and we lost bad to Kenwood. Okay. And Kenwood, I looked at the bracket. I think they are 3A. They had a 1 seed in the for their region. Mm-hmm. They had a bye this week, and Parkville we 4A, so Parkville had the bye, and now Parkville and Catonsville was the 1 and 2. On our bracket, they both had byes tonight, so they played Monday. So I don't, it's just different. It's different how they do these things now. So I'm still kind of learning, how they break everything down and how they seed and all this stuff. I'm still kind of learning that stuff, but I guess by next year I'll figure it all out. I'll take a bigger look at it, how they do it. But it was a good year, good learning experience for me. Seeing how the high school worked. It's a little different from when we played. Mm-hmm. Just as far as some of the things that we did versus how they do. I was telling the coach, I said, when we played, we just stayed at the school. Right. You know what I'm saying? If it was a late practice, nobody never really went home. I mean, on occasion somebody might go home and get back. We just stayed. Right. So we just stayed at the school, and then even when we had late Friday games, sometimes we stayed. Mm-hmm. I know it was a few times I would go home if I knew I had a ride back. Right. But if I wasn't sure I had a ride back, I would just stay. Right. Be at the school, and we played at 8:00. Right. On Friday nights. Their games now is like 5. All the games is 5:30. Mm-hmm. No matter what day it is. So you tell me we was in school we got out of school 2:30, 2 something. Yeah. And then we at school till 8:00 on a Friday. Right. You know what I'm saying? Till game time. Then shit, we ain't getting home probably till 10.
Right. Yeah, I remember
You
one
know?
time, man, I didn't eat. Like you said, I
Yeah.
stayed after on a Friday, and yo, that game, I was miserable.
But that they even get lunches now.
Mm.
Like even at the practice, we they set aside like sandwiches and
Mm-hmm.
juice or milk or something
Okay.
for the kids. So whoever want lunch, get them lunch. They pack lunches for the games when we travel.
Okay. Definitely applaud that.
Yeah, so it's definitely different from when we was because we like you say, man, we'd be up there
Right.
starving for real, or like a lot of
or,
times them
or eating
schools we was
some
traveling
junk, you
to.
know what I mean? We
Yeah,
in the eating out the vending machine, candy bars.
yeah, because then even the schools we was traveling to, like a lot of times they ain't have concessions, and then
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't nothing around there to go to.
Right.
Like you at a school like Delaney, it's nothing around there. Like you just there, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Until you get back home, get back on that bus. So it's just some differences I see with basketball, with the high school stuff now that's going on. I mean, like I had fun with it. I'm having a good time being around. I love the games. I like being around it. I like to give my little input on it, and I'm learning, as I go. And maybe I'll get another opportunity to lead a team at some point. I'm good where I'm at right now, but it's a good learning experience.
Okay.
And I'm proud of what we got accomplished this year, and we still got another game to go, and hopefully another 4 or 5. I don't know how many we need to get to the chip, but it's good experience, man. So I guess we can ready to wrap it up.
Okay.
We got practice at 8 o'clock in the morning.
8 in the morning.
8 a.m. Gotta get in the gym, get these boys ready for a big game Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Monday evening. So any closing words, any closing thoughts tonight?
And just good chopping it up with you, brother. Appreciate you. Congratulations on the season. Like I said, congratulations on bringing the story of Silas Point Junior Senior High School to the light.
Dope.
Keeping history alive.
Dope.
And I wish you much success tomorrow. Well, when's the game? Monday.
Monday, yep.
And your future endeavors as a coach, man, because you definitely are making an impact on these kids. You know that just by the the award that you got, from being acknowledged by one of your players, man.
Yep.
I personally myself would like to get back into a situation where I can mentor some young men or coach or do something. So I applaud you for that, brother.
Yep, appreciate it. And that's I got the award right here, matter of fact. Keep it close, but this one of our guys' son acknowledged me.
Right.
I don't know if y'all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was Jim Collier was he graduated with you.
Right.
In class of 90. His son, Jude, selected me as the person that for teacher appreciation. So they was able to choose a teacher or coach.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody they felt like kind of helped them out a lot. And he said, that I'm always encouraging them and, giving them positive reinforcements in practice. So, and in the game. So I was appreciative of that.
Okay.
And like you say, sometimes you don't know whether you're getting through to some of these kids either.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know whether the stuff you're saying to them is resonating or they just kind of in one ear and out the other.
Right.
So definitely was proud to get that recognition. Also want to shout out my guy Terry Nolan Jr. Just played had his senior night at Towson University Wednesday night.
Okay.
Either Wednesday or Thursday night. He had his senior night.
Okay.
Last home game as a senior. He's already got his degree he's a master student right now. So
Okay, applaud that too. A degree.
yep, yep. Terry is a new dad. Him and this girl, fiance, they had a daughter. I think she's probably a couple months old now.
Okay, okay.
Um,
Applaud
you
that
know,
too.
yeah. So and I'm expecting to see Terry, go somewhere and make a couple of dollars to play basketball
Mm-hmm.
in the next year or so. Um, I'm working on getting him and his dad, or him and his dad, one to do an interview with them.
Mm-hmm.
I was there pretty much from the beginning of his run.
Right.
From 10 years old, man, and watch the stuff that I see him doing. And like you said, me and Dean have talked about him here. We kind of saw that some of that stuff in him early. He had the potential to be something special. He's carried this thing on him. I mean, he had some bumps in the road with his college situation, but he pursued, persevered, and got through it. He's great. Finished his college career. I think Dad told me their conference tournament is next weekend
Mm-hmm.
in DC. So that's going to be, an opportunity for me to see him play. I think Dad said if they get to the championship, he's able to, get some tickets.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly where the tournament is. I know he said it's in the DC area, so that could be anywhere. That could be DC, Virginia. So I'll find out. But I hoping that Towson advances to the conference tournament to get an opportunity to go to the NCAA tournament.
That would be great.
And say they haven't been since 1991. That's
Mm.
back when Devin Boyd and
Mm-hmm.
Terrence Scooter Alexander, Baltimore guys, was up there. And I think they went the year before too with Kirk Lee
Yeah, with Kirk, yeah,
in
90.
1990. Yeah, so I'm pulling for Towson. My guy Terry, man, just wanted to show him some love, and we're gonna get you up on the sports mix and chop it up a little bit. Coming up, shout out to my man Big Lou for the intro.
Definitely, that was hot.
Appreciate you, my brother. So we're gonna be, the sports mix is growing. It's a weekly grind. I'm just trying to come up with these ideas and different things that I want to do with the show, different directions I want to take it. But we getting there. We're going to appreciate you, my brother, for joining me tonight.
No problem.
Shout out to my other roundtable guys, Coach C, Dean, CB, and Fromage.
Fromage.
I see y'all fellas. We'll be back at it again. And like I told y'all before, once my basketball season is over, I'll have a little more time. I may do some shows, during the week as well. Just been a little busy, with wrapping this season up. So I'll be a little bit more involved with some recordings and some live stuff. So thank everybody for tuning in. We are out. We'll be back at it sooner than you think.
God bless and good night.
Peace out.